Marcus Rashford. It's his most prolific season ever. Rashford, 23 goals for this campaign. Manchester United lead by a goal to nil. Fred releases Rashford. Rashford going through. Rashford's flag goes up. Yeah. Flag goes up against Marcus Rashford. Onside. Oh, wow. There you go. It's going to be given. It's going to be given. Marcus Rashford, look at the finish. It's fantastic. Rashford. This is Sancho. Here comes Fernandez. Sancho! Oh, it's magic. It is magic. Sancho scores home and away against Leicester. Another terrific day at Old Trafford. Another terrific win for Eric Ten Hag's Manchester United, who moved to within 5 of Arsenal and 3 of City. United march on. They've thrashed Leicester 3-0.
Positive result for Manchester United ahead of the Europa League clash return leg against Barcelona. And with that, we welcome you to Kiko Sports Show this morning, the first half of the AM update. My name is Oladapo Kunubi, aka Young Striker 9. And well, as we look at football, we'll also talk about the NBA All-Star game that started yesterday. Well, Giannis Antetokounmpo, LeBron James both injured, and if you have a captain of the two sides getting injured, maybe we should be expecting some top stars to get things going for their sides in the All-Star games. Hey, remember, we'll also look at Carlos Alcaraz, who's back into full fitness. He won Argentina over the weekend. Let's jump into that. Tennis. Before we talk NBA and football, do not go anywhere. Taylor Fritz showed why he's ranked top 10 in the world and rising after beating Memir Kaminovic 6-love 5-7, 6-2 Sunday's final of the Dura Beach Open. 3-25 came into the tournament sitting at a career best ranker of 7th, and he did not lose his first set in Dura Beach until the final. Now, in his first round since a 4th month injury layoff, Carlos Alcaraz went all the way and defeated Cameron Norrie 6-3, 7-5 in the Argentina Open. Here is Alcaraz speaking after the victory yesterday.
Yeah, probably. I felt really comfortable playing this final. I know that it was going to be really difficult, but I started really focused on what I had to do at the beginning, showing my game, my level, and this is the level that I have to play in the finals. Yeah, it's really special. As I mentioned before, I started for these 4 months. I didn't do the right things off the court, and I felt a little bit guilty after the injury, and start with that is not easy, and come here to my first tournament after the 4 months, as you said, first title after US Open is a really special moment for me.
Well, this man is back, so let the top players, the old players, get set for Carlos Alcaraz. Now, moving away from that, let us quickly jump and look at what we're going down today. We've got updates from the Rio Open. Games will be going down 8:30 tonight. But hey, Federico Correa's clash against João Fonseca and Laszlo Jerry taking on Alex Morkan. These 2 games have been cancelled. But the first game for the Rio Open ATP 500, we see Alex Morkan take on João Fonseca by 8:30. Same as Souza taking on Hugo Dolian. Christian Garin against Pedro Martinez as Laszlo Jerry will take on Facundo Botniz. Dominic Thiem will be in action by 11 o'clock against Thiago Monteiro. Remember, we've got updates coming from the Open 13 in Marseille, France, ATP 250. Stan Wawrinka will be in action 7 o'clock against the Zolbergs as Luka Van Ask will be up against Benjamin Bonze. Filip Krajinovic will take on Alex Boblik as the first singles of the day. Well, remember, ATP 250 Qatar Open in Doha will also be going down, same as Dubai Tennis Championship with WTA 500. You can count on us as we'll be updating you every morning from Monday to Friday. Now let's move away from that and let's talk NBA this morning, where team captains LeBron James and Giannis Antetokounmpo both exited the All-Star game in Utah on Sunday due to injuries. Los Angeles Lakers forward James appeared to hurt his hand by hitting it on the rim during a dunk with 6:08 remaining in the second quarter and was ruled out for the second half. Well, for James, finished the game with 13 points on the 54.5% field goal shooting with 4 assists in 14 minutes. The four-time NBA MVP's exit meant both Team LeBron and Team Giannis would be without their captains for the second half. Milwaukee Bucks forward Antetokounmpo withdrew from the All-Star game early with pre-existing wrist injury, scoring 2 points before stepping outside a minute. So let's just quickly give you the results of that one. Team LeBron lost 175 to 184 points against the Team Giannis. Now moving away from the All-Star games, let's talk football. Remember, the Nigeria Professional Football League. Is it Nigeria Professional Football League? Okay. Nigeria Premier Football League. It's just the Nigeria. All right. Now you understand what I'm trying to say, right? The Nigeria Top Flight League. Well, some results of games that went down over the weekend. Shooting Stars again drill at home. Now it is back-to-back drawn games for the Oluyole Warriors. Well, for Bendel Insurance, they can't stop winning their games and going like bulldozer. Leicester can PFL. Remember, we're live on Facebook. Facebook.com/solutions 939FM. Facebook.com/solutions 939FM. Well, shout out to Agumbi Adesheru, Shegun Afolabi, KB, Aremu Cash. Thank you so much, guys. Well, remember, we're also live on our YouTube platform, Solutions 939FM. Click the like, subscribe, and the share buttons. And remember, on Twitter, you can follow us and we surely follow back. We do this all the time. Solutions 939FM. On Twitter. Talking about MPFL over the weekend, games were played. Bayelsa United, Enugu Rangers played a 1-0 draw. Bendel Insurance defeated Eyimba International 1-0 as Lobby Stars edged Doma United 2-0. Niger Tornadoes defeated Dakara FC 1-0 as it was a 2-0 draw between Shooting Stars and Aqua United here in Ibadan. Sunshine Stars edged Wiki Tourist of Bochi 1-0. But 2 games will be going down today in the NPFL rescheduled games, where Gombe United will take on Plateau United as Remo Stars will be the guest of Nasarawa United. Away from the NPFL, let's talk continental football this morning. Well, Nigeria's under-20 national team, the Flying Eagles, got their campaign at the 2023 Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations in Egypt got it off to a poor start, losing 1-0 against Senegal in the first game in Group A, played inside the Cairo International Stadium. A late first half goal by Suleiman Faye earned Senegal the first win of the tournament. But looking at games going down today, Uganda will take on Central African Republic by 3 o'clock, and by 6 o'clock, Congo will take on South Sudan. Away from the continent, let's talk Spanish football before talking Premier League football. This morning, remember, things are looking better for Spanish La Liga side Barcelona, but maybe Real Madrid would have just forgotten that they are in a run to also defend the La Liga title. Talking about the Spanish La Liga going down, for games decided over the weekend. But before that, let's talk about one game going down tonight, and that will be Getafe taking on Valencia by 9 o'clock. I beg your pardon. Getafe will be at home. But looking at games decided over the weekend, Barcelona defeated Cadiz 2-0, and after that game, coach of the side, Xavi Hernandez, saluted Ferran Torres and Sergio Roberto as Barcelona racked up 7th consecutive La Liga win to go 8 points clear of Real Madrid again. And looking at all the results, Atletico Madrid defeated Athletic Bilbao 1-0. Rayo Vallecano defeated Sevilla. But Rayo Vallecano Sevilla played at 1-0 draw as Elche lost their man and lost the game 0-1 against the Espanyol. Osasuna sat back at home but lost 0-2 against Real Madrid as Mallorca defeated Villarreal, who lost a man 4-2. Betis defeated Real Valladolid 2-1 as Celta Vigo with 10 man played out a 1-0 draw against Real Sociedad, while Girona spanked Almeria 6-2. Away from that, let's go straight to the Premier League, where Arsenal came from behind to win 4-2 against Aston Villa.
Cash has done well there to read the danger, and he's got Watkins on the move ahead of him. It is Watkins up against Saliba. First touch let him down somewhat, but the England striker's still going! And Aston Villa take the lead against the run of play. White crossing towards Nketiah, out as far as Saka. It's a stunning finish by Bukayo Saka. It's picked out Moreno as well, and it will roll for Coutinho. And Aston Villa restore their lead. The man who came back into the starting 11 doing the business for Unai Emery. Arsenal go short from the corner. Zinchenko! What a time to score your first Arsenal goal. And how huge could that be in the title race? Teeing up here for Jorginho! Oh my goodness me! A stunning strike by Jorginho! Surely has secured all 3 points for Arsenal. Luka Dean out swinging to a dangerous position. Saliba was up there, and Martinez is out of his goal. And Fabio Vieira's bringing it forward, and Martinelli's there to finish things off and make it 4 for Arsenal. It was never in doubt the second that Martinelli got into that position.
Okay, so that was what happened over the weekend, and a lot of people felt like maybe Arsenal is back stronger. But the question is, can they be back? That's the big question. Here is Jorginho, who scored a fantastic goal, same as Zinchenko, who also brought the team to a level in that particular one over the weekend. These 2 players made it clear that Arsenal is ready for a real deal.
That's Premier League. That's why it's the best league in the world. It's just beautiful. It was very important after the last results we had, and at the start it wasn't easy. We were not producing our game, and then we came the half time. We have a talk, a chat, and then we went back to doing the basics, what we need to do, and we could change the game.
I think from this game I would like to say about 2 things. First, we took an unbelievable lesson for all of us. That means we just need to believe until the very end that we can achieve everything. Like I said many times already in the past, that this group is such an amazing people, can achieve everything what they want if we're going to continue in this way, if we're going to keep fighting, keep believing, and also obviously the reaction from all of us in the second half is perfect. I think that's the right way to go for the future games.
What else do you expect from the Gunners? But hey, let's keep our fingers crossed anything can still happen. The season is still a marathon. We'll have to hold on, pause the break here, and be back in the evening 6:30 for extra time, where we talk everything extra football. Do not go anywhere. We'll look at the pages of Nigerian newspapers in the next few minutes. Good morning, Ibadan!
not touch that dial.
You know the radio you tune to, it's your Remedy dial, 93.9 Solutions FM. Your number one Remedy dial.
Ó ti ṣiṣẹ́ rere bọ̀, ó yá wá ṣe láṣeyọjú. Tinubu ti ṣiṣẹ́ rere bọ̀ láti gbà yí o, ọmọ Naija ẹ dìbò fún. Aṣíwájú ni ẹni tí Ọlọ́run yàn, ọmọ Naija ẹ má fòyà. Bọ́lá Tinubu ló lọ wà ní kòtùkọ̀ yìí, ẹ má ṣe jẹ́ ká fòyà. Àṣà ti dìbò fún, ẹ jẹ́ kó wọlé, kó lè mú wa dé ilé ìlérí, ẹ má ṣe jẹ́ ká fòyà.
Torí tó bá wọlé, ètò ẹ̀kọ́ yóò jìnnà dénú. Torí tó bá wọlé, ẹkọ́nọ́mì àgbàgbára. Torí tó bá wọlé, ètò ààbò àgbòpọ̀n. Tóun ti gbé sí ayé ìrọ̀rùn.
Aṣíwájú ni ẹni tí Ọlọ́run yàn, ẹ má ṣe jẹ́ ká fòyà.
Dìbò fẹ́gbẹ́ APC Better Ọ̀yọ́ Movement ló ń kéde.
Adélabú sọmọlúàbí o, orí lóye. Adébáyọ̀ sọmọlúàbí ẹ̀, orí lóye. Má ṣe gómìnà kára ó tù wá pẹ̀sẹ̀, orí lóye.
Ẹgbẹ̀je nìràwọ̀, ọ̀kan ṣoṣo lòṣùpá, ọlọ́ọ̀ba ló fòṣùpá jọba tó fi gba ìjú ẹgbẹ̀je ìràwọ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ lórí Fadébáyọ̀ Adékọ́lá ojúlówó ọmọ Adélabú pẹ̀ǹkẹ̀lẹ̀ mẹ́sì máa túyà gbàǹso ìtàkùn tó ní kẹrin má gòkè àlọ́ tòun tẹ̀rín ló ń lọ. Gbogbo èèyàn ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ló ń retí Adébáyọ̀ Adélabú fún ipò gómìnà kí ara ó lè tù wá pẹ̀sẹ̀ ẹni tí ó fúnni lásọ. Tọ́run ẹ̀ láwò ibi gíga ló ti ń bọ̀ àwọ̀ ọba ò sì fọ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ ó tún rẹ ní rebi bó ti ń ṣe fàlejò ló ń ṣe fónílé àbálàjọ tí òkìkí ọmọ Adélabú fi ń gbalẹ̀ bí ọ̀wọ̀ àrà òjò látòkè Ògùn délẹ̀ Ìbàràpá Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́ Ọ̀yọ́ Aláàfin àti Ìbàdàn ní tilé toko ló sọ pé bókùrà ọ̀kan lójú ọ̀run tí ẹ làwọn ń ṣe àtàǹpàkò làmì ẹgbẹ́ wa Accord Party ló lé téńté lórí ìwé ìdìbò dìbò rẹ fún Olóyè Adébáyọ̀ Adélabú OFR Accord Oneness and Progress.
Great people of Oyo South Senatorial District, what do you want?
Freedom, development, youth empowerment.
That is right. Here is another 4 years opportunity to get it right in Oyo South Senatorial District. Cast your vote for Honorable Oluwasegun Theophilus Oladimeji Otto under the auspices of Labour Party as our representative at the National House of Assembly, Senate. Otto, a man of the people, credible and intelligent leader, social transformer, an advocate for youth empowerment always. On this note, market men and women, artisans, civil servants, students across all levels, social groups, religious houses and many others. Vote for Honorable Oluwasegun Theophilus Oladimeji Otto to represent Oyo South Senatorial District on the Labour Party with the logo of a father, mother and children. Let's do it together. No carryover. Vote for Otto. Labour Party!
Forward ever!
Then say wetin man go be tomorrow. Na, he go begin the arrange for am. All we Naija youths. Shey una know say these general elections wey don dey waka kurukere dey come for road. He fit do with here tomorrow. So, Naija youth.
Good news, sports, entertainment, top 100 music on your Remedy radio dial. Solutions 93.9.
Do not touch that dial.
All right, 9:20 on Solutions 93.9 FM. My name is Adi Damola. Laughing White, it's my pleasure to welcome you on to the From the Daily segment of AM Update on Solutions 93.9 FM. I have the Vanguard and the Nation newspapers with me this morning.
Okay, I've got the Punch and Tribune this morning. As we look at headlines on the pages of Nigerian newspapers, we also talk on burning issues. Well, Bishop Kuka has been talking about the preparedness of some leaders in Nigeria. Remember, the next few days and some hours we'll be marching to the polls where people will be casting a vote the first half of the election process, the presidential and the National Assembly. President Muhammadu Buhari also spoke from Addis Ababa over the weekend. This and more will be bringing your way.
Okay, taking my first shot at the Vanguard newspaper this morning, I have the banner headline and it says, "Old notes, confusion as banks carry out CBN directive," and riders to that, "Open branches we can expect clearer directive today. POS operators ignore CBN warning on selling banknotes. Experts hold divergent views on implementation impact." The stories are found on page 19 of the Vanguard newspaper. Moving further, Naira swap, APC urges FG CBN to obey Supreme Court order, 6 Buhari's intervention, and riders to that, as Ganduje, 6 APC governors boycott meeting with Adamu, Tinubu, El Rufai, others engage NWC as party chair cautions governors against inflammatory public utterances. And moving further, I have this one coming from the front page of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Presidential poll, Tinubu Shetima's agenda for women, children. Senator Tinubu, you find that story on page 31. Polls don't fail Nigerians. NGE urges INEC security agencies. That story is on page 8. Naira scarcity, there is light at end of tunnel. Buhari, that story is found on page 8. Leah Sharibu, we won't stop fighting injustice can. That story can be found on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. And the shoe headline, no president in Nigeria's history came prepared. That's somehow heavy, and that's credited to Reverend Kuka. Okay, let me go to the cap headline now. There's the countdown on the front page of the Vanguard. 5 days to go to the general election. How we got here, the parties, the Electoral Act, and the judiciary. That story will be found on page 14 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning.
Okay, well, still talking about the countdown. I mean, looking at INEX portal, it is 4 days, 22 hours, 35 minutes, 44, 43, 42 seconds. So, well, if you say 5 days, not bad. If you say 4 days, not bad. But remember the hours behind, because by come Saturday, around this period, elections would have started. I mean, accreditation would have started, and so that is according to INEC timetable and countdown. So we are also counting down alongside the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Okay. Now, punching down headlines this morning. Buhari, Jonathan, others became president unprepared. Kuka. Stock investors lose 281 billion naira in 1 week. Talking about election. INEC to get poll allocation from CBN Tuesday. The pocket headline this morning, and this brings fear to my heart. Fuel queues may return as NNPCL depots run low. I think the same Melekiari said that we have enough
to go around.
Enough fuel to go around. And people are still buying at high price. The banner headline this morning, 6 days to election. That is according to Punch newspaper.
Okay.
APC governors, bank CEOs in last-minute rush to clear Naira mess. And it has 3 riders. The first rider, 12 governors, APC chair want Emefiele Malami to obey Supreme Court order. Second rider, Naira crisis has brought so much pain. Adamu laments Ganduje, Abiodun absent. Bank CEOs want old note collection extended to avert protests, attacks on branches. You want to read more? Get a copy of Punch newspaper. Looking at the front page picture of Punch newspaper this morning, where Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari participated at a high-level event on reinvigorating Pan-Africanism for changing world, and held a bilateral meeting with President of Somalia, Hassan Muhammad, and DG of International Organization of Migration, Antonio Vitorino, in Addis Ababa. You can see the pictures there. And well, the shoe headlines: vote for leader with capacity, character. Oyedepo Ogo woman set self ablaze over 70,000 naira debt. Can lament Le Sharibu's continued captivity. This and more you can punch down from Punch newspaper.
Okay, moving to the Nation newspaper this morning, the Pandef youth wing reject Obi's endorsement. And another one says, IGP to meet top police officers, CSOs, media over electoral violence. And moving further on the pages of the Nation newspaper, APC's mega rally proves Atiku has no place in Northeast Ajaka. I did not endorse any presidential candidate, Pastor Ade Farasin. And flooding Adamawa, Bayelsa, 30 others at risk, FG warns. NDLEA intercept 58 kilogram of Europe-bound cocaine, meth, at Lagos Abuja Airport. And moving further, immigration redeploys 11 ACG 30 controllers. And another one says EFCC denies raiding Tinubu's home for alleged 400 billion naira cash. Okay, moving further, Kaduna directs agencies to accept old and new notes. And another one says PC chairman, 10 governors, others in crucial meeting. And the last one says Tinubu joins APC chairman governors meeting. These headlines will be found on the pages of the Nation newspaper this morning.
Going straight to Nigerian Tribune this morning, Monday, 28th of February. The front page of Tribune, the banner headline says, Naira swap policy, APC National Working Committee, governors ask Malami to prevail on CBN. Want it to comply with Supreme Court order. Other riders, 10 governors, 2 deputies in closed door meeting with APC National Chairman. And the last rider, El Rufai directs ministries, agencies to accept payment in old, new currencies. So who is stronger? I was asking the question on Friday. Can we say some states are stronger than Mr. President or even bigger than the law?
Or Mr. President bigger than the law?
So those are the questions we are asking. So if El Rufai could say that, and that Abiodun, okay, I don't want to say
Abiodun,
saying that they should take hold and new naira notes. All right, looking at the sideline headlines this morning, Nigerian banks unprepared for cashless economy. NESG. Look at the front page picture of the Tribune newspaper this morning. It's currently concerning the APC governors in a meeting, and I can see that of Kogi, Kaduna, some other governors there. But looking at other headlines, elections don't disappoint Nigerians. NGE urges INEC, security agencies, others. And talking about security agencies, on our way yesterday, we saw trucks, military trucks in the city of Ibadan, and some also confirmed that in Lagos. So it's like based on the election, security-wise, people should be rest assured. That's according to what Mr. President is saying, and what we are also seeing on the front pages of Nigerian newspapers this morning. Election Tech Group faults Osun Tribunal judgment, validates Beaver's reliability. Article to Nigerians: voting Tinubu is moving from fry pan to fire. That's according to Tribune. Join forces to save Nigeria, Atiku Okowa campaign committee tells electorate. In video message, Buhari urges more patience on Naira redesign, canvasses votes for Tinubu. This and more you listen to on the show this morning. This is 9:30. Dr. Conan Stone will be joining us in the next few minutes, but let's go straight to the burning issue. But still counting down to the polls. It is 4 days, 22 hours, 29 minutes, 16, 15, 14, 13 seconds to go.
The ballot is stronger than the bullet. Protect the ballot and secure your future. It's 4 days to the general elections.
This message is powered by a Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 939 FM.
Fellow Nigerians, God has once again brought us to another season of general elections across the country. I am therefore calling on all of you to exercise your franchise in a peaceful atmosphere. I am calling on specifically our traditional rulers, religious leaders, and parents to warn their followers and wards alike to not allow themselves to be used by a few to foment trouble. I want to assure you that the government has taken adequate security measures to allow everyone to come out and cast their votes. I am therefore appealing to everyone to give them the necessary support. Fellow Nigerians, I want to use this opportunity to once again thank you for electing me to be your president on 2 occasions. I am not a contestant in this election, but my party, the All Progressive Congress, has a candidate in the person of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. As I mentioned before, Tinubu is a true believer in Nigeria, who loves the people and the development of our country. I am calling on all of you to vote Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He is reliable, and I trust he will build on our achievements. Finally, I want to once again assure you that I am fully aware of the current hardship you are facing as a result of some policies of the government which are meant to bring overall improvement to the country. I am appealing to you to exercise further patience as we take appropriate measures to ease these hardships. God willing, there will be light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
President Muhammadu Buhari speaking yesterday.
Addressing us from Ethiopia.
Addis Ababa. Okay, so that aside, because we're still coming to that, and if some governors could not follow the order of Mr. President, and Mr. President is saying that vote for a particular candidate, do you think people will want to, follow the speech of Mr. President? Or maybe because Mr. President is just in a hurry to leave Aso Rock, so he just says whatever he feels like saying. I'm just saying with what is also happening based on body languages and what we are also getting from different states, Lagos, Ogun, Kaduna, Kogi. But now let's go straight to Bishop Coker this morning. Well, remember, Bishop Coker, Matthew Coker, is one of the outspoken men of God in Nigeria. Is in Catholic Diocese of Sokoto, and here he also made it clear that most of the leaders we have in Nigeria have never been prepared. So the ones we have going for the 2023 polls, how prepared are they?
And almost up till today, very few Nigerian presidents have come prepared for the job. If I take you back, we have President Buhari now. President Buhari already in 2011 had said, I don't want to be president again, I'm tired. He was literally pulled out screaming to be president in 2015. He took over from Jonathan. Jonathan himself, you know the circumstances that brought him to power. Yaradua, before him, Yaradua was already saying, I'm done. I want to go back to teach in the university. Before Yaradua was Obasanjo. Obasanjo was in prison, hoping that one day he'll walk out of prison, and if he's strong enough, he'll go back to his farm. And you can go on and on and on. You know, Abdul Salam was about to be retired from the military when Abacha died and he became head of state. You know, Abacha, you can go all the way down in Nigeria. You're not going to find one single person who has been president or head of state of Nigeria that came prepared for the job.
Okay, well, you heard Bishop Coker there, and Dr. Conan Stone is with us this morning. Is prepared to talk to us this morning. I don't know if he's still in Lagos or he's in Ibadan. Dr. Conan Stone, thank you for joining us.
Good morning. I was on transit last weekend, but I'm back to Ibadan right now.
Okay.
Good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if you overheard that speech from Bishop Matthew Kuka talking about the preparedness of our leaders. With the way people have been moving, the Abuja Aso Rock has been getting leaders, and Nigerians are having leaders like they are not prepared. But before that, President Muhammadu Buhari spoke from Ethiopia yesterday, assuring Nigerians of a credible election, but saying that Nigerians should vote for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, also talking about the Naira crunch. Do you think people will have to believe President Muhammadu Buhari? He gave a national broadcast last week, but some governors went their ways to say that old and new Naira notes, not thinking of any denomination, continue to spend.
Well, I'd like to say good morning to our listeners. A lot of questions put together here. Unfortunately, I didn't listen to Matthew Kuka because, that's notwithstanding the statement. I have known Matthew Kuka to be someone who is highly predictable, someone that you can believe on his words, who doesn't see A and call it B, or who doesn't call 1 + 1 is equal to 11. And so I believe what he's saying is very, very correct. But of course, I'd like to delve more on the happenings around the issue of election. Now, yesterday there was the EFCC has come to say the horse that about 400 billion naira of new naira notes were discovered in one politician's house. They have come to say that it's not true, that we should not believe it. Well, for every form of rumor, as long as it's a rumor, let it remain a rumor. But the common man on the street would say for every form of rumor, there's a piece of truth in it.
Well, EFCC debunked that.
I didn't hear you.
I said EFCC debunked that story.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That the EFCC has debunked it. So let's leave it that way. It means, therefore, what the president has said via his broadcast, that he does not want to have a monetized election where the highest bidder will be the winner. And that's the reason why he's doing everything possible to making sure that the Naira is not within the reach of the politician. Whoever wants to vote on the day of the election, everyone has collected their PVCs. The one closest to your voting area is the one you have collected. And so I do not think anyone who wants to make a voting will probably have to go very far from their polling units, requiring so much money in order to cast their vote. Some people have also said that the government of the day, the president, is actually overriding or taking above the Supreme Court's interim injunction. And I want to say, therefore, that once the interim injunction was being talked about by the Supreme Court said the status quo should be maintained. And so that is not clear what the Supreme Court meant by the status quo. Does it mean the status quo of the CBN in banning the Naira, or the status quo of its injunction? The CBN, the Supreme Court did not explain that well. Once you want the status quo to remain, you have to say which status quo are you talking about? Because, as it were, number one, there's a status quo about the letter approving this policy by the President of Nigeria to the CBN. That letter was not set aside, and so we do not know which status quo the Supreme Court was talking about by reason of its adjournment till the 22nd of this week. And so we are also willing to know the level to which the Supreme Court may want to throw Nigeria into jeopardy or want to follow the peace program of the President. We believe that the three arms of government at every point in time should be in sync in order to bring the dividends of democracy. It's no lesser saying that the issue of a cashless policy in Nigeria will reduce the probability of having the people who are the highest bidders buy their positions. Primary elections in Nigeria today, except that of the Labour Party and a few others, were not bought. The major parties had their candidates buying, and it was all over the media how dollars was used to monetize who finally got the ticket. And so in that regard, if the president of the day says, I am a person of integrity, what brought me in might be corrupt, just like Yaradua in his time agreed that the election that brought him in was not free and fair. And so if the president of the day says, well, I got into power and I know I didn't come from a free and fair election, but I want to hand over a country that is led by leaders who won a free and fair election, who am I to say no? The only thing I would always say is this: once you have an option over an issue, you will have to utilize that option, no matter how tight or hard it is to use the option. For example, there's an option of transfers. A lot of people are complaining that the monies are not going right there. Well, that's an option. Whether it works or it doesn't work well, it's still an option.
But
Number two, the president also has come to say the 200 naira notes will return, and pronto, the CBN governor met with 15 MDCOs of banks to tell them to release the 200 naira notes to the bank. I believe this week we are going to have the ATMs already recalibrated so that they can dispense the 200 naira notes.
Okay.
I believe this is the way to go in Nigeria. Certain policies are best or better at certain times. I do not think if this policy had come 2 years ago, the APC government, who are taking President Muhammadu Buhari and the federal government to court, they probably have taken it to court.
Okay.
It will have come to see, yes, it is the policy of the day, it's the policy of the government trying to rid Nigeria of bad eggs. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's therefore all these persons who are actually kicking against these old naira notes and all, kicking against these new naira notes, as well as the policy, have actually had a beehive of money stacked in places or stacked in warehouses that they actually wanted to use.
Well, we don't have confirmation of that if they have the cash stuck in their houses.
That's why I said it's an insinuation.
Yes,
it's an
yes.
insinuation.
But you said something, Dr. Kanaso. Yes. Let me just cut in here, Dr. Kanaso. Excuse me, please. You talked about, yes, we have a process, transfers. But nobody is calling on Minister of Communication, where a lot of people are complaining about the network. And there should be a ministry in charge of that to make sure that, network providers make sure, most especially telecommunication industries, make sure that their networks are good enough to make transfers. And banks have not also come out to tell us why they are having network issues. There's a particular bank that starts with A. They've made so many transfers for the past 2 months and are not going through. Things have not been put in place.
Let me tell you that the providers of internet services in Nigeria are doing it strictly on the basis of business. And each bank probably must have procured a certain bandwidth or a certain band length or a certain gigabyte or terabyte capacity that the overwhelming nature now happening on the banking sector is actually overwhelming the broadband or the bandwidth these people currently have. You understand me? So as time goes by, it is the responsibility of these banks to improve the bandwidth or the broadband they currently have. I want to tell you that Google that we use today, that once you say you prompt a question on Google, within 3 seconds it provides
answer
3 billion, 10 billion options within 3 seconds. If you know the broadband and they use Google server where they are in California, also if I'm not mistaken, Google server is bigger than the 3 buildings of NNPC.
Okay.
I get you.
Okay,
Google server.
Dr. Conan Stone.
So as we progress, I believe these banks will have to improve on the broadband. But whether because they are slow, it is not something to do. That I believe this policy has come to stay, except the new person who is coming into government decides to say, no, he wants Nigeria to monetize. He wants the dollar to be bad. He wants the dollar to still be able to fight the naira without any cause for action.
Dr. Conan Stone, I want to clarify something that you're talking about the Supreme Court's last ruling adjourning the case to February 22. The Supreme Court stated that they are maintaining the status quo, and the status quo the Supreme Court was referring to was based on the last ruling they had, saying that the old naira notes should still be legal tenders. So I just want to clarify that.
Well, your clarification, I still have an issue with your clarification. The judgment, did it state what you said? Because I also read it. Because the man was arguing that because a lawyer came up and said, sir, what about, are you setting aside the injunction you are giving in the past? And he said, listen to me, everyone should know to maintain the status quo. Because we are postponing the hearing of this case. It's still a hearing. Are you getting me?
Yes.
Maintaining the status quo, we needed to understand what status quo is he talking about. Is it the status quo? Because once the president's letter that actually gives a go ahead to this policy, once it is not set aside, once it's not vacated, there's still a confusion as to which status quo it's really talking about. The clarification you want to make right now was not even made by the Supreme Court you are talking about. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
A lawyer stood up to say, sir, what do you have to say about this? And the man says, maintenance of status quo. So if it is for the ordinary man, maintenance of status quo, when two things are legal now, you give an injunction that is legal, the letter that is establishing this thing, the injunction, do you now say the injunction sets this aside? If the injunction sets this aside, then there should have been a pronouncement to say that letter is suspended. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay, Dr.
We shouldn't allow now. That is what my pain is.
Okay.
I do not know the level to which the Supreme Court judgment and the words they use for their pronouncements will either make Nigeria safer or throw Nigeria into chaos.
So
and we are praying that should not happen in Nigeria.
Dr. Conan Stone, looking at our time now, in 60 seconds, there's a pocket headline on Punch newspaper that says, few queues may return as NNPCL depots run low. Should we continue to believe what is coming from Kyari? Remember, a few weeks ago, he said there is enough fuel to go around the country. But now, saying that queues may return. And we're moving to election. Will this not be a pointer to a likely postponement of the forthcoming election with 4 days and a few hours to go?
Mr. Dapo, I'm sorry to say, I've refused disappeared already. Because I bought fuel yesterday, I was in the queue. You get what I'm saying? I'd rather like to say that the queues may exist, will exist on or before and probably after the election day. Because I do not see, has actually been my argument all the while. You cannot set a corporation to operate as a limited liability company and you will not cause the crisis we are bringing to the table now. You get what I'm saying? As a corporation, it didn't do well, and he now said that it's a limited liability, that all it has in its mind is money for its stakeholders, money for the people who have made it a limited liability. You now say that a limited liability will operate better than a corporation. I do not think how that works.
Well,
I do not think how that will perform well.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Konisto, for your time this morning on From the Dailies on EM Update. We'll join you again on Wednesday.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. You just heard Dr. Conan Stone is a public affairs analyst and giving us his own opinion. But let's get your take this morning on the burning issue, same as pages of, headlines we have on the pages of Nigerian newspapers, from NNPCL's comment to President Muhammadu Buhari's comment and APC governors having a meeting yesterday, Bola Ahmed Tinubu jumping into the meeting and the likes. 0909-888-9939 or 0912-222-2939. Or you can as well jump on our Facebook fan page, Solutions 939 FM. Solutions 939 FM. Facebook, post your comments and your reactions. Remember, WhatsApp line is also open, same for SMS. 0904-422-2939. 0904-422-2939. Well, a lot of people still queuing up at banks. Well, banks have opened today. And before the opening, we also got report that senior bankers may be going on strike due to attacks on bank officials, properties of banks. Well, we'll get more updates concerning that. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, thank you for joining us. Please move a bit because your network is fluctuating.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, we can hear you clearly now. Let's go.
The cashless policy is a good one. But the government at the center and CBN are set to put meaningful measures that will make it more effectively in place, which has increased more hardship for Nigerians. So many small-scale businesses have been affected due to this. So for the APC governors coming out now, why are they coming out now? President also was on strike for almost a year. We did not see them. They didn't even come out to sue the government. The insecurity that keeps killing the innocent soul in their state, they didn't come out to the federal government. So why are they coming out? All the federal government and the CBN should please review this policy because it's really taking a toll on the masses. It's really killing us. Because we even thought the president's speech, we even made things to be better, but still, it's really keeping it worse.
Well, maybe because the cashless policy thing is affecting everybody. That's why the governors are coming out this time around.
Oh,
okay.
Because of their selfish interest.
Well, that's your opinion.
Thank you very much for your contribution this morning. Well, I was at a big mall over the weekend, and we were trying to make transfer. The transfer was not going through. They also came up with one QR code, the scanning.
Yeah.
Even the attendant does not know how to operate it. So it's like we are not prepared. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, this is Balkis from Ibadan.
Thank you, Balkis.
Yes, I read one for the headline this morning that President Buhari says he respects law court, but he still decided to openly disobey the Supreme Court order.
Where did you get the headline from? Which of the papers?
Was it Punch or Guidelines? I checked the headlines on Facebook this morning, early in the morning.
Okay, but the papers we have here doesn't have that.
If he believes he respects the law, he shouldn't have only disobeyed the Supreme Court order, because this Naira legal tender deadline is still in the law court, and when the matter is still in the law court, all other things will still be postponed. Now look at what some governors like Kano, Kaduna are doing now, going against the presidency's order. To me, I see this as executive disorderliness, and it shouldn't be if the president had done what is rightful of him. But because he didn't do that, these governors are taking laws into their hands. So I just want to urge your state citizens who believe that Makinde should also do so, like Kano and Katsina. No, it shouldn't be. We can't all sleep and face the same direction.
Okay.
If we decide to do that, there will be more orderliness in the country.
Okay.
Because I guess this is the era of civil disobedience. Then finally, Saturday is almost here. Let's ensure that we go out en masse to vote.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much for your comment there. People must come out, because I was speaking with Honorable Fagbenro yesterday, and we were talking, and I was like, okay, do you think this election will hold? What message do you have for people? People can have their PVCs and say, okay, they're scared of going out, they don't have money, there's fuel crisis and the likes, they don't want to go cast their votes. Is that not going to be? Is this whole situation not going to be like a way to also disenfranchise people? From going to cast their votes? Hello, good morning. Good morning. Biola, thank you for joining us. You've got 60 seconds. Let's go. Okay.
The history of Nigeria. This is not the first time the federal government are going to redesign our naira notes. We have never faced this kind of difficulty. Just a change in the new naira. We are facing so much difficulty. As we know, there is poverty and hunger in the country already. We can't access the money we work for, the money we earn from our sweat. We can't eat or feed our families. How long are we going to continue like this? This is the essence of the policy without proper implementation. And I only urge Nigerians, if truly we know that higher of this federal government at the federal level, we should use the only power we have, which is our PVs, to correct our wrongs of 2015 and to create a provisional set of leaks.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for your comment. And going on our Facebook fan page this morning, we have a message coming from Omade Adekunle. It says, why is it now that the APC governors are fighting against the cashless policy? ASU went to strike for almost 8 years. No, not for 8 years, like 8 months. They did not talk. They did not sue the president for the issue of the fuel scarcity. Okay. They did not sue the president for the issue of fuel scarcity, erratic power supply, insurgency, unbearable inflation rate, and many hurdles that are battling us in Nigeria. The APC governors are just fighting for their selfish interest. May God choose us the right leader that will rule Nigeria with human face. May God help us.
Okay, Olayinka Adetola says the failure of the CBN governor to implement the policy of redesigning new naira notes effectively is contributing more hardships on average Nigerians. The masses are struggling to deposit their old notes to the CBN. They are suffering to get their money from their banks. Now, many people cannot cater for their daily consumption due to this Naira crisis. The ABC government is a failure to Nigeria. Voters should beware and vote wisely this time.
Okay, Oluwaseun Root, why are the APC governors against Naira redesign? It really shows that it will stop their plan to rig the election. I mean, one of the things we also heard from the APC governors meeting yesterday is that they are not against the Naira redesign. What they're against is, the policy coming at this time. Okay, so that's the much we can take this morning on AM Update. Thank you so much for your contributions this morning. Remember, you have your PVC. That is your power. You have to go all out on Saturday, 25th of February to cast your vote. We'll stay counting down. It is 4 days, 22 hours, 2 minutes, 51, 50, 49, 48 seconds to go. Well, coming up next is Mokajue. And, we have a guest, right?
Yeah, we have a guest. Our guest today is Honorable Olufemi Josiah, who is the Special Assistant on community relations to the governor of your state. That is Governor Seyi Makinde, and Deputy Director of your state PDP presidential campaign. Okay, he will be our guest on the program, Mokajwe, with Kolade Olagunju.
Kolade, good morning to you. How are you doing this morning? Yeah.
Gbogbo ṣe ń ṣe ìbò fitinfitin látàárọ̀ ntí ẹ ó sì sún àgbédàpọ̀ lórúkọ rẹ̀.
Ọládàpọ̀ lórúkọ mi, Ìbàdàn ló bí mi sí.
Ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú dẹ̀ ni.
Ọlọ́run ọba o. Jẹ́ mọ́ sọ fún Adédàmọ́lá, a gbọ́dọ̀ gbà lálejò. Lórí Mọ́kájú ẹ̀ ni. Lórí Mọ́kájú ẹ̀.
Ire o.
Ó sá lọ.
Ìbẹ̀lẹ̀ máa sùn.